Good morning, students. Students, in our previous lecture, we have discussed with you the molecular orbital configurations and the molecular orbital diagrams. And I told you the two molecular orbital configuration with Z equal to 7 or less than 7 and Z greater than 7. We gave you the question to write down the molecular orbital configuration for oxygen and to make the molecular orbital diagram for oxygen. Hopefully, you must have done this. Now, this chapter is almost over, student. Only the two topics are left, and that is resonance and hydrogen bonding, which will be discussed in the further discussions of chemistry in the various chapters also. But yes, let us complete this chapter by discussing in brief resonance. In detail, the resonance I will be discussing with you when I will be discussing the mesomeric effect in the organic chemistry. So, resonance. What do we mean by a concept of resonance? Now, always remember, student, resonance is basically that concept according to which if two or more than two structure can be written for the molecule, but none of them explain the entire properties of a molecule, then the actual structure is a resonance hybrid of these contributing structures. So, what is resonance? So, according to this concept, if two or more than two structures can be written for the molecule, according to this concept, according to resonance, according to the resonance concept, if two or more contributing structures, if two or more structures can be written for a molecule, if two or more valence bond structures can be written for a molecule, and none of it explains all properties of the molecule, and none of it explain all properties of molecule, then the actual structure is a resonance hybrid of, then the actual structure is a resonance hybrid of all the contributing structures, is a resonance hybrid of all the contributing structures. Actual structure is a resonance hybrid of all contributing structures. Am I clear? This is a concept of a resonance. If for a molecule we may write two or more than two structures, but none of those structures explain all the properties of a molecule, then we write down the hybrid structure which will explain the entire property of the molecule, and that is called as a concept of a resonance. Fine. Student, always remember the resonance hybrid is a definite form. As for example, if you may consider over here the benzene molecule. Now, this structure of benzene explain some of the properties of benzene. We may have the another structure of benzene which may explain some more property of benzene. Just see this one. But neither this nor this benzene explain the entire property of the molecule. So, what we do, we take the hybrid structure which will explain the entire property of the molecule. So, these structures are the canonical structures. These are the canonical structures, or we may call it as are resonating structures. Canonical structures or the resonating structure. And this structure over here will be called as a hybrid structure. What is this structure over here? This will be called as a hybrid structure. So if two or more than two resonating structures can be written for the molecule, but none of them explain all the properties of the molecule. So we may write down the hybrid structure, which may explain all the properties of the molecule. Now, how do we select that which structures are the canonical form of the hybrid forms over here? So rules for selecting canonical forms. If it is being asked from us, canonical form. Rules for selecting the canonical forms. When I say the canonical forms, I mean to say the resonating structures. Resonating forms. Always remember, student, the two forms will be said to be canonical if the arrangement of atoms in the molecule is same. I mean to say, relative position of all the atoms in the molecule must be same. So first will be rules, or we may call it as conditions. Fine. The first condition is the arrangement of the relative positions of all the atoms. The relative positions of all the atoms. Positions of all atoms in molecules must be same. Relative position of all the atoms in molecules must be same. The relative positions of all the atoms in the molecules must be same. I mean to say, the arrangement of atomic nuclei must be same. And number second, they must have the number of unpaired and the paired electron in each of the canonical form must be same. So total number of unpaired, they must have same number of paired and unpaired electrons. They must have same number of paired and unpaired electrons. Paired and unpaired electrons. They must have same number of paired and unpaired electrons. Same number of total paired and unpaired electrons. Am I clear? Suppose, as for example, we write down the nitrous oxide N2, and the various forms of nitrous oxide that are given to us is this N, triple bond N, and this way, and then over here is positive, and this is this form. These are the canonical forms of nitrous oxide. This is first form, and the another one is this. The second form is this one, N, having a lone pair of electron, then double bond, and then N, and then double bond O. This nitrogen over here is having a positive charge, and then this will be this one. The question is, are these two forms the resonating forms of each other? Am I clear? Now just see over here. This is nitrogen, this is nitrogen. This is nitrogen, this is nitrogen. This is oxygen, this is oxygen. So arrangement of atomic nuclei is same. So the first condition is satisfied. Then second will be, we have to find out the number of paired and unpaired electron. How many? This electron, one pair. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Is it clear? How many paired electrons are there? There are 16 paired electrons. Here 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 and 16. So here again the 16 paired electrons are present. So these are the resonating forms of each other. So both these structures are the resonating structures. Am I clear? So these structures are the resonating structures of each other. Is it clear? Now the second is how to find out the stability of the resonating structures. So comparison of stability of resonating structures. Comparison of the stability of our resonating structures. Students, always remember what are the various rules over here. Non-polar are always more stable than the polar compounds. First is non-polar molecules. Non-polar molecules are more stable than the polar molecules. Am I clear? So if we have to compare between the non-polar and the polar molecule, naturally the non-polar will be more stable than the polar molecule. As for example, if we write down this compound, this is the molecule of phenol, OH, having a lone pair of electron. Now if I write down the resonating form of this will shift toward this side, this side, and this over here will be written in this manner, OH, with a positive charge and a negative charge over here. Suppose this is first, this is second. So naturally over here, first will be more stable than second. Am I clear? Rule number 2. If the two structures are supposed to be resonating structure, then octet of each atom must be completed. Octet of each atom is complete. Octet of each atom is complete, which is a normal case. In most of the cases, the octets are completed. Then third is more the number of covalent bonds. More the number of covalent bonds, more is the stability. More the number of covalent bonds, more is the stability. More will be the stability of a resonating form. More over here will be the stability of a resonating form. Is it clear? And one very important point is negative formal charge must be present on the electronegative atom and the positive formal charge must be present on the electropositive atom. Negative formal charge must be present. Negative formal charge must be present on electronegative atom. Negative formal charge must be present on electronegative atom. It must be present on electronegative atom. And positive formal charge must be present, and the positive formal charge must be present on electropositive atom. Must be present on electropositive atom. It must be present on electropositive atom. Electropositive atom. Am I clear? If we compare with these values, we will be able to determine which will be the more stable resonating structure. Just see over here. Here in this case, the oxygen is more electronegative as compared to nitrogen. Here the negative charge is present on oxygen and positive charge is present on the nitrogen. So naturally, this is oxygen is electronegative in nature, so this will be more stable as compared to this. So between these two, which will be more stable? The structure number first will be more stable as compared to the structure number second. Is it clear, student? Then the very important point is, due to resonance, the bond order of many molecule or ions changes. Fine. So due to resonance, the bond order of a molecules or ions changes. So bond order, how do we find out the bond order? With the help of our resonating structure. Bond order will be equal to, this is a very important question, how do we find out the bond order with the help of a resonating structure? This will be equal to total number of bonds between the two atoms in the molecule. This will be equal to the total number of bonds between two atoms in molecule. Between two atoms in molecule. It will be equal to the total number of bonds between the two atoms in the molecule divided by the total number of resonating structures. Divided by the total number of resonating structures divided by the total number of resonating structures. As for example, if we write down the resonating structures of carbonate ion, this is O negative and O negative. We make the hybrid structure of this one. It can be written in this manner: CO negative, double bond O and O negative, which can again be written in this manner: C double bond O, this will be O negative and O negative. If I find out the bond order in this case, bond order will be equal to how many bond? 2, 1, 3 and 1, 4. So this will be equal to 2 plus 1 and how many resonating structure? 3. So bond order in this case will come out to be equal to 1.33. This is how we may find out the bond order. One more thing, students, these are the very small topics. What do we mean by a resonance energy? Resonance energy is the energy difference between the hybrid form and the most stable canonical form. So how to find out the resonance energy? Resonance energy. Resonance energy, it is defined as the difference between the actual bond energy of the molecule and that of the most stable resonating forms of the molecule. It is equal to resonance energy, experimental value of heat of formation. These are the numerical problem which you have done in the class 10th, 11th. Experimental value of heat of formation. Heat of formation minus calculated value of heat of formation of the canonical forms, of the most stable canonical form, minus calculated value of heat of formation of most stable canonical form. Heat of formation of most stable canonical form. Most stable canonical form. Or we may say it is the energy difference between the hybrid structure and the most stable of the canonical form. Or it is the energy difference. It is the energy difference between most stable hybrid structure. Most stable energy difference between the hybrid structure and the most stable of the canonical form. Between a hybrid structure and most stable of the canonical form. And the most stable canonical form. And the most stable canonical form. This is something about this. Resonance energy affects the properties of the molecule. Fine. As for example, if we take the benzene. In benzene, we have carbon-carbon double bond and carbon-carbon single bond. This can be one structure of resonance. Other structure can be made in this manner. Yes. Here the carbon-carbon single bond distance is and the carbon-carbon double bond distance. If you look at in this case, carbon-carbon single bond distance over here will be 1.54 angstrom. And carbon-carbon double bond distance, this is 1.34 angstrom. But in benzene molecule, carbon-carbon bond distance has been found to be equal to 1.39 angstrom. So you may see over here, resonance affects the bond length. Is it clear? So due to resonance in the benzene molecule, the bond length changes to 1.39 angstrom. Mostly the chapter is over, student. There is one more small topic in the syllabus, which I will discuss in the brief with you, and that is hydrogen bonding. So what do we mean by hydrogen bonding? Hydrogen bonding. Fine. Hydrogen bonding is the force of attraction between the hydrogen atom and highly electronegative atom. Suppose we have X and then H. This X over here is either fluorine oxygen or nitrogen. So force, the electrostatic, the force of attraction between the hydrogen atom and the highly electronegative atom will be called as a hydrogen bond over here. So the force of attraction between these will be called as a hydrogen bond over here. So this force of attraction is called as a hydrogen bonding. Fine. As for example, this can be of a two types. This can be intermolecular hydrogen bonding. This can be intermolecular hydrogen bonding or intramolecular hydrogen bonding. It can be intermolecular or we may say intramolecular hydrogen bonding. Intermolecular or intramolecular hydrogen bonding. If the hydrogen bonding occurs between the different molecules of the same or different kind. So it occurs between different molecules of same or different kind. Just see, these XH and XH are the same molecule. As for example, HF, then it is hydrogen bonded to another molecule of HF. So this is occurring in between the different molecules. They may be of the same kind or of the different kind. So these are the molecules are of the same kind. But it may occur in between, suppose we take ammonia molecule H, this will be H and H. Then over here we take O, H and H. So this is in between the different molecule. So this is called as intermolecular hydrogen bonding. So intermolecular hydrogen bondings are those bonding which occurs in between the different molecules of the same kind or between the different molecules of the different kind. Student, always remember intermolecular hydrogen bonding increases the surface area. So it increases surface area. It increases surface area. It increases the surface area. Hence, increases boiling point. It increases boiling point. That is, decreases volatility. Decreases volatility. Am I clear? So if the hydrogen bonding occurs between the electronegative atom and the hydrogen atom, if the bond is formed, that is called as a hydrogen bond. If it occurs between the molecules of the same kind or the molecules of a different kind, they are called as a intermolecular hydrogen bonding. We may have intramolecular hydrogen bonding. If the hydrogen bonding occurs in between the atoms present within the same molecule, that is called as intramolecular hydrogen bonding. As for example, if you take orthofluorophenol, this is OH, and this over here is fluorine, and this is intramolecular hydrogen bonding. So this and this are present within the same molecule. Here they were the different molecules of the same kind or different kind. So if the hydrogen bonding occurs between the atoms present within the same molecule, that is called as the intramolecular hydrogen bonding. As for example, over here we take orthofluoro, and this will be phenol. Am I clear? So this is called as the intramolecular hydrogen bonding. If you take orthonitrophenol, suppose we have got this molecule, this is N, double bond O, and this is O, and this is O, and this will be H. This is called as intramolecular hydrogen bonding. So if the hydrogen bonding occurs between the atoms present within the same molecule, that is called as a intramolecular hydrogen bonding. This molecule over here is orthonitrophenol. Am I clear, student? Always remember intramolecular hydrogen bonding decreases the surface area. Intramolecular hydrogen bonding decreases the surface area. Hydrogen bonding, it decreases the surface area. It decreases the surface area. And as we all know, boiling point is directly proportional to surface area. So boiling point decreases, and volatility increases. Boiling point decreases and boiling point decreases and volatility increases. Volatility increases. Am I clear, student? Now there can be a questions which can be asked on the basis of hydrogen bonding. As for example, if someone asks you KHF2, potassium hydrogen fluoride, exists, this exists, but KHCl2, KHBr2 and KHI2 does not exist. What will be your answer bar? Because over here this is positive and this is negative. Between hydrogen and fluorine there is a hydrogen bonding. But between chlorine and hydrogen there will be no hydrogen bonding. Here again, here HF2 negative ion is stable. This is hydrogen bonding. So this molecule exists, but this molecule does not exist. Am I clear? Someone may ask, the density of ice is less than water. What is the cause behind this? Because of the aggregation of molecules or due to the intensive hydrogen bonding. Density of water is maximum at 4 degrees C. Why? Because of a hydrogen bonding. So these kind of questions you may read from the book. What can be the questions which can be asked from the concept of a hydrogen bonding, student? I hope this you must have understood very, very well. Okay? With this, we are completing this chapter. Now, in your syllabus, we have done the major chapters. Basic concept of chemistry is done. Atomic structure is done. States of matter is done. And the chemical bonding chapter is done. I hope you must have definitely understood this. Now, in our next lecture, we will be starting with the discussion of a new chapter. I hope you will be learning this chapter by making the notes. We will meet again in the next lecture. Till then, thank you.